the voyages of the starship Enterprise.
25 years after it was first shown on television, the show Star Trek still has a huge following. For the crew of the Starship Enterprise, seeing memorabilia from the program at the Smithsonian Institution was more than they expected.
We're walking around not knowing we're icons. But coming here to this museum has actually opened my eyes. I see it in a perspective that I had never really seen it before.
Part of that new perspective is that some of the high-tech equipment imagined by Star Trek's fiction writers has become fact.
In the 60s, in hospitals, they still had clipboards at the end of the bed that kept a record of all of the body statistics. We had it on a panel. A computer, medically oriented computer person said, "Oh, we can do that," and that's now reality.
Besides medical technology, Star Trek imagined other modern-day marvels, talking computers, for example.
As a matter of fact, I read yesterday that now we've got a computer that you can talk to. You can say a person's name and tell it to find the telephone number, and it'll find the name, the number, and will dial it.
The show is still watched by thousands of college students, and some of the cast members anticipate even more inventions will be spawned by Star Trek.
I do believe that young potential scientists or even working scientists look at science fiction and say, well, wait a minute, that's not impossible. If we could do A, B, and C, we could accomplish that. We could move an object from place to place. We could achieve that speed of flight to escape the atmosphere.
Some of the actors find young people who watch them play doctors, scientists, and engineers on TV were influenced by what they saw.
People will come to me and say, "Thank you, because I would not be an engineer if it weren't for you." And exactly the same thing I know has happened to DeForest Kelley, because people will say, "I went into medicine because of him."
It was on Star Trek where the world saw its first communicator, a tiny device that looks like today's cellular phone. And Star Trek's phaser weapon has become today's taser. The curators of this exhibit say that putting Star Trek in the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum might stimulate today's young people to become the doctors, scientists, and engineers of tomorrow. The show tried to do more than show machines. It attempted to predict how Earthlings would interact with beings from other planets. Often, the 23rd century examples paralleled problems of the 60s, but with a futurist twist. An example, the fully integrated Enterprise crew had a difficult time understanding this alien problem.
I fail to see the significant difference.
Loci is white on the right side. All of his people are white on the right side. Sensible solution to all this.
Even Star Trek's prime directive of non-interference with other cultures was written as reaction to the Vietnam War.
Bones. Do you remember the 20th century brush wars on the Asian continent? Two giant powers involved, much like the Klingons and ourselves. Neither side felt they could pull out.
Yes, I remember. It went on bloody year after bloody year.
Despite criticism that giving exhibition space to a fictional TV show has no place in a science museum, the Smithsonian staff believes it could attract 2 million more visitors to the museum between now and September, helping to teach science and values to future generations. John Holloman, CNN Future Watch.
The original Star Trek series was only on the air from 1966 to 1969, but it's still seen in reruns, and 6 movies have been made by the original cast. Plus, the syndicated series Star Trek: The Next Generation has already been on the air longer than the original series.